And then I heard the trigger. But not just one, multiple. Welcome to Legendary by Vechs. This is a CTM map, so the objective is to find and collect the 16 colored wool blocks in the various areas around the map. We then need to place them on the victory monument that we also need to find. The victory monument needs an iron, gold, and diamond block, which we are allowed to craft. This is a survival map, so you can survive in any way you can think of, which is actually why I'm collecting these torches, because I will definitely need these. You must play on at least easy, which I will be playing on hard, and this map was actually one of the hardest, if not the hardest map back in its day. It was originally made for beta 1.7.3, but I'm going to be playing it in 1.12.2, which changes the dynamics and balance in the game, most notably the vastly new combat mechanics. So this is Humble's start. We need to get over there by that tree, and all we get are the torches I've been collecting, a piece of bread, and some pretty useless pants. We then have to do this super dangerous parkour over to this cave. There's a spider spawner here, but it was nice and didn't spawn anything. Sometimes these tunnels could have a skeleton or something to knock you into the lava, but it's actually pretty tame today. He also put these pressure plates to make you super nervous, and it did give me the first time I played. And here's the other side where the tree was. Unfortunately, there was a skeleton and a creeper over here. But a zombie decided to come over and greet me first, which I quickly realized that I could just punch him into the lava. Naturally, he then called for help, but they were no match for my punches either. I then decided to do the same with a skeleton, as that would be the safest thing to do. There's 4 zombie spawners up there, but they shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I figured it was clear enough for me to come over to this gravel. So this gives us a bridge back to the start. Oh my gosh! For some reason, this baby zombie caught me off guard and actually scared me. So I just dealt with him like I did the others. I then realized that the creeper that I saw earlier was nowhere to be found, which was pretty suspicious. So I just got some of this wood, made a crafting table, a wooden pick, and a sword real quick. There was also this chest over here that just had 32 cookies. They aren't the most useful thing, but they're better than no food. There's another chest over here with some leather, a stone axe, and a stack of arrows. Next, I needed to go up, but I needed some blocks. I had a 200 IQ idea where I can let these creepers out and use them. So I made them explode and got some free blocks. I then deactivated the spawners and exploded one more creeper. So I decided to pillar up and not make any stairs. It started to become nighttime, and I didn't want a skeleton to spawn above me and shoot me off. So I made a haphazard staircase the rest of the way. And now we're in the final stretch of the starting area. In this tunnel, a skeleton greeted me, so I blocked him off. He brought an Enderman friend with him, and unfortunately, I forgot about Sweeping Edge. Well, I forgot about this, whatever it's called. Thankfully, we have this bridge back to the side now. There was a zombie here that I wanted to get rid of, and he called his whole gang over. But we now know how to deal with them. Because I was cocky and didn't build a staircase, I now have no way up. So I re-enabled the spawners, and I used the creepers again. And then I proceeded to epically fail at building a staircase. I genuinely have no idea what I was thinking here. I got back up and the skeleton had my sword, which actually made the fight easier. There was a sneaky creeper and I figured I could use him to get some more blocks in this hidden room. There were now a couple of spiders that I dealt with real quick, though this one didn't know how to climb properly. There's some more spiders that spawned from a spawner over here, so I killed them, made a bow real quick, and then ran in to disable the spawner. Somehow there were still 2 spiders, and one of them also didn't know how to climb properly, and then decided to cheat. All that's left is just to walk past these holes that would take me to my death, past the spawner, and now we're at intersection 1. Each intersection branches off to 3 more areas. In this one, I decided to go to East Commons first. This area is a huge area with islands full of trees. He has a cheeky little trap here for you to accidentally set off too. I knew about it, so I attempted to disable it, but I didn't realize one of them was already primed and it blew up anyways. While I was checking out the damage, a skeleton tried to snipe me, but thankfully gave up. I figured the easiest way to get down at this point was just to simply jump. Due to how dense the trees are, mobs can spawn during the day. At night, they of course will spawn, but it's really easy for them to sneak up on you due to all the trees. So I really didn't want to go up onto the islands just yet with the very limited resources that I have. So I decided to grab a boat from this chest and sail to the other side of the area to check out a couple more chests. I got over to the chest and just completely and utterly failed to ride up next to it. Like, seriously, how am I this bad? But I finally did open the chest and realized that it was a complete waste of time. But there was a second chest that I wanted to check out, which is up here on the island. I attempted to jump over the fence but failed due to some leaves touching my head. So I ran away because babies are scary and proceeded to almost take a bunch of fall damage. I dealt with the zombies and tried again. There was a creeper this time, but that's fine. However, I didn't realize that there was a zombie behind me too. So I attempted to take care of them, but I epically misjudged how far away I was. Thankfully, it's super easy to get back now, but I had to painstakingly grab my stuff from the bottom of the ocean. This was before the water update, so I can't swim unfortunately. Third time's a charm, and it was all for nothing. So now I just sail back around to the beginning of the area. So there's this town on this island that has a bunch of traps, one being the sand pathway. I have no idea why it lagged me this much though. I wanted to take out this tower first because it's daytime right now, and that way nothing can spawn outside and trap me in. Of course, there are 2 creepers and a skeleton immediately, which I wasn't ready for. There are some chests with some loot that is guarded by a fun box, which is 3x3 of spawners. 4 zombie, 2 creeper, 2 spider, and 1 skeleton. I can easily use them for a mob farm. So I go back in and dispose of the creepers and skeleton. Though it's really obnoxious to take care of creepers that are above you. Another skeleton came down, and this guy would rather dance than follow me. There was another creeper that fell, so I ran, but now it's night times and I started to hear creepers fall all around me. I did not want to continue this during the night, so I just ran away. But nowhere is safe, and a creeper still snuck up behind me. But this guy gave me some free blocks though. There's a small mine in the town, so I figured I would try to get in there. I could hear a skeleton and spider guarding the entrance, but I didn't know where they were. I found the spider and I disposed of it. I then decided to make a run for it rather than dealing with the skeleton. Unfortunately, the mine is also trapped, but I couldn't remember where the trap was. But I felt like it was the furnace. I wanted to mine the stone and coal here, but I wasn't completely confident. So I decided to take it safe and mine the stone from a distance. That way, if it did start blowing up, I would have a bit more time to run away. And thankfully, it was not trapped. I thought the glowstone was weird, as if Vechs was trying to coax me over here to trap me. So I was still being careful, but thankfully this was not trapped either, which leaves the furnace, but I wasn't ready to check that out yet, so I left it for now. I didn't want to wait the night out, but I didn't want to check the rest of the town during the night, so I figured I would finish securing the tower. That way, when a mob spawns, it is more likely for it to spawn outside the tower than inside, and so I blocked myself in to keep everything else out. And immediately a bunch of stuff started to spawn outside. There's a creeper here that I handled poorly, and now there's a bunch of items on the ground. Good job, me. So I quickly blocked the top floor off, unblocked it, put a torch, blocked it off again, filled the walls in, made a chest, and picked up all the items. I then unblocked the top floor again and killed a spider. There was still a skeleton that tried to own me, but I owned him first. And now I just had to be careful because I didn't know if there was a creeper up here. Thankfully, it was just a zombie, and now it's secured. But this is the fun box. A 3x3 of spawners. I dug around it to light the outside of the tower to fully disable the spawner. There was one more chest on top of the tower, which was super useless. With the leather in some of these chests, I figured I would make some armor. And then I went to check out the rest of the town. There's a proximity bomb somewhere around, but I didn't remember exactly where. There's a shop-like area here, which has some okay items, specifically a bed. The rest of this building was just a couple of dark rooms with nothing notable. There's also another sand trap right here. And then I was pretty sure that the proximity bomb gets triggered somewhere around here. So I'm really careful when I'm walking around just to make sure I always have a place to run to. And then I heard the trigger. But not just one, multiple. There was a lot of lag for some reason, and all of a sudden a skeleton was in my face, but I kept running. I knew the explosion was big, but I didn't know at the time if it would catch up. Thankfully, I was able to get out of the blast radius. But this is what the bomb does. Yes, that is void down there. I then proceeded to waste my time and pick up all the blocks, even though I never end up using them. After almost an hour of playing, I finally was able to sleep and set my spawn. Next, I decided to go back to the mine and set the trap off. I was right, it was the furnace, which had a floating piece of sand behind it as a trigger. Not as big of as an explosion, but can still easily get you if you weren't expecting it. And that leaves one trap left, which was this farm that he provided. When you till a couple of dirt blocks, it blows the whole farm up. So the next course of action is blocks. I need a lot of blocks to make a mob farm, and I also need cobble, so I decided to use the water and lava here to make a cobble generator. This is definitely not the optimal way or place to do it, especially when creepers tried to ruin my day. But I continued on in this really terrible location until I realized I can literally just make the water flow into lava down at the bottom. Seriously, what the heck was I thinking? So now that I basically had infinite cobble, I got to work on the mob farm. It's going to be a falling trap, so I first tore down the tower, then I made another tower around the spawners. It wasn't low enough to bring the mobs down to one-hit kills, so I had to dig a few more blocks down. So with that done, the mob farm is complete. While I was putting some stuff away, I killed the zombie which dropped a potato, which is the best food source in the whole map. So that's a win. Now all I have to do is just climb up here, cover these light holes, and just wait for the mobs to spawn. Then you just climb back down and kill everything. Then you can collect all the loot, which even includes some music discs. But I really only care about the bones for food, arrows, and iron for shields. I'm not going to use the iron for anything else until I get to the area that Vechs lets you have iron. Now that I effectively have infinite cobble, wood, arrows, and food, I'm ready to take on the rest of the map.